Cyclotron. It is a device which is used to accelerate positively charged particle to very high energies. It is used to accelerate charged particle to very high energies which can be used in disintegration experiments. So this is about the device cyclotron. Now it consists of two horizontal hollow metallic Ds. These are hollow metallic. I have made a diagram here. So these are two Ds. They are known as Ds. As the shape is in the shape of D. In the shape of D. They are known as Ds. D1 and D2. Across which an alternating potential difference is applied. Across the Ds, an alternating potential difference is applied. A strong magnetic field is set up perpendicular to the plane of Ds. If these are two Ds, magnetic field is set up perpendicular to the plane of the Ds. This I have shown here. An ion source S, the source S is located in between the Ds. Now suppose a positive ion comes out through the source. This is the ion source which is producing ions. Suppose a positive ion comes out through source at an instant when D1 is negative. Now positive ion is coming out, and if this is negative, what it will do? It will attract. When D1 is negative, it will be accelerated towards it due to electric field in between the Ds. As it enters that charged particle, as it enters D1, it does not experience any electric field due to shielding effect of the metallic Ds. All of us know that inside the metallic conductor there is no electric field. So that is known as shielding effect. Once inside, due to perpendicular magnetic field, it follows circular path. Now charge ion is moving this side and field is perpendicular. When a charge moves perpendicular to the magnetic field, its path is circular. It follows a circular path. Now the very important point, the frequency of applied potential difference. This applied potential difference, its frequency is so set that as it comes out of D1, as the charged particle reaches this point, this D becomes negative. Out of D1, D2 becomes negative. Once it becomes negative, what it will do? It will attract the charged particle. It now gets accelerated towards D2 and it enters D2 with increased velocity. Because of this electric field, its velocity increases and it describes a large semicircle than before. But its time of revolution remains same as it is independent of velocity. The time period of revolution is independent of velocity, and velocity time period, you know, it is 2 pi m upon qb. The time period is independent of velocity, because when velocity is increased in the same proportion, the radius of the circular path also increases. It is independent of velocity. Thus, during each transition from one D to another D, its velocity increases due to electric field and it requires very high energy. And finally, the charged particle falls on the deflector plate, which is here, and it hits the target. Finally, it falls on the deflector plate and hits the target. The very important condition for cyclotron to operate is that the frequency of the applied potential difference must be same as the frequency of the revolution of charged particle. It's very important, as when the charged particle comes out of this D, this should become negative. As it comes here out of D2, it should become negative. Only then it will be accelerated. This is a very important condition. There must be resonance between the frequency of the applied potential difference and the frequency of the revolution of the charged particle. Force on a current carrying conductor placed in a uniform magnetic field. Let a conductor of length L, we have taken a conductor whose length is L, area of cross section A, its area of cross section is A, and having current I, suppose the current I is flowing through it. This be placed in a uniform magnetic field B. So this conductor is placed in a uniform magnetic field B. If Vd the drift velocity of the electron. If Vd is the drift velocity of the electron, then force acting on one electron. The formula for force acting on a charged particle is qvb sin theta. This is a force acting when a charge q moves with velocity v, pneumatic field b. So force acting on one electron, now charge on electron is E. It will be E Vd b sin theta. Now suppose n is the number of electrons per unit volume. Small n is the number of electrons per unit volume. The total number of electrons in the conductor is NaL. N is number of electrons per unit volume. A into L is what? The volume of the conductor. This gives you the total number of electrons in the conductor. So total force acting on the conductor is F is equal to, this is the force acting on one electron, and NaL is the total number of electrons. So total force acting on the conductor is EV sin theta into NaL. Now NeAVd, what is this? This is current I. Replacing this, the formula becomes F is equal to IBL sin theta. So this is the formula for force acting on a current carrying conductor when it is placed in an uniform magnetic field B. Force between two parallel current carrying conductors. Let C and D be two long current carrying conductors. C and D, they are two long current carrying conductors, and let R be the distance between both the conductors. Having current I1 and I2. C is having current I1 and D is having current I2. And in this case, I have taken direction current same in both the wires, both the conductors. Magnetic field at any point P, I have taken any point P on D due to current carrying conductor C. Magnetic field at any point P because of this current carrying conductor is given by B2 is equal to mu naught upon 2 pi I1 upon R, and its direction, let us see, I1 is this side, point is this side, it will be inward. Direction of magnetic field at any point P due to this C is given by this, and it is directed inward. If we take a small length L on it, if I take a small length L on it, then force acting on it, F2, formula is IBL sin theta. Here theta is how much? 90 degree. Magnetic field is inside, and this is the direction of current. So it is angle 90 degree, so it becomes I2 B2L. On putting the value, you get mu naught upon 2 pi I1 I2 upon R into L. Let us see the direction of force. A magnetic field inside, current upward. It is like this. Magnetic field inside, current upward. Direction of force is towards wire C. Done. Similarly, force acting on conductor C due to D. Similarly, force acting on this because of this current carrying conductor is F1 mu naught upon 2 pi I1 I2 upon R into L. And because of this current, direction of magnetic field will be outward. Now magnetic field is outward, current upward, direction of force is towards D. So on this wire, force is acting towards C, and on this it is acting towards D. Thus, when the direction of current in both the wires is same, there is a force of attraction between them. Now if you reverse the current in any of the wires, there will be force of repulsion. So remember it, when direction of current is same, there is a force of attraction, and when direction of current is opposite, there is a force of repulsion between them.